would. Everyone is watching China rise, and nobody is talking about how long the last superpower transition actually took, or what the historical pattern says about what happens to the country being replaced. 1870, the British Empire is at its peak, controlling 24% of all land on Earth. The British pound is the world's reserve currency, the Royal Navy is the largest on the planet, and British GDP per capita is the highest in the world. And then quietly, without announcement, without anyone in London fully realizing it, the United States begins to catch up. By 1890, the United States overtakes Britain in total economic output. Not because Britain collapsed, Britain is still growing, but because America is growing faster, and British leaders notice but do not panic because they still have the Navy, still have the Empire, still have the pound, still have the colonies. And they believe the transition, if it is even happening, will take generations, and it took 54 years. The transition did not happen in one moment. It happened in layers of economic dominance first as America overtakes Britain, in output around 1890, but Britain still controls global finance. Military dominance next as World War I reveals that America can fund both sides of a European war from across the ocean, while Britain bankrupts itself fighting it, and financial dominance last as World War II exhausts the British treasury so completely that Britain spends the rest of the war borrowing from America, and the pound loses its ability to function as a reserve currency. July 1944, Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. 730 delegates from 44 nations gather at the Mount Washington Hotel to design the post-war world economy. And Britain's representative John Maynard Keynes, the most famous economist alive, already seriously ill, negotiating from a position of profound weakness, argues for a new neutral global currency called the Bancor. And America's chief negotiator, Harry Dexter White, proposes the dollar instead. And America holds 2/3 of the world's gold in 1944, and has the money and the conditions, and the dollar wins. And 54 years from economic overtake to currency replacement, the pound is finished. And here is where the current moment becomes alarming. China overtook the United States in GDP measured by purchasing power, the most accurate real-world comparison, in 2014, which was 11 years ago. And the same transition from Britain to America showed that economic overtake alone means very little in the short term, as the currency replacement came 54 years later. But it also showed something else. The country being replaced rarely sees it coming until the moment of replacement has already passed. Now, the detail that makes this pattern genuinely terrifying? Britain's leaders in 1890 knew America was growing faster. They chose to believe the transition was manageable. They chose to believe the pound would hold. They chose to believe the empire would adapt. And every single one of those beliefs was correct for decades, and then suddenly in the span of one generation, none of them were true anymore. China is moving faster than America did. America took 54 years from economic overtake to reserve currency status, and China already has the Belt and Road in 140 countries, the petrol yuan already trading in oil, and BRICS payment systems being built right now. The timeline may not be 54 years, it may be much shorter. Every superpower transition in recorded history has followed the same pattern. Economic dominance first, then military reach, then currency control, then the moment which always arrives quietly in a conference room, and not on a battlefield, when the old power hands over the architecture of the world it built. Britain's leaders in 1944 walked into Bretton Woods believing they were negotiating as equals. They walked out having handed over the system they built. The dollar replaced the pound in one afternoon, after 54 years of everyone believing it never would. Everyone is watching